He who does not consider himself receives divine power. Geronda. Was your life ever in danger during the war? Oh yes, not just once or twice. I think now how God helped, and I am profoundly moved. I didn't think of it then. Especially death, I didn't think about it at all. When you are determined to face death, you aren't afraid of anything. The determination for death is equal to 1,000 guards. Death is security. In war, the sacred companies of dedicated soldiers have the skull as their symbol. It says that they are ready to die. Whoever doesn't think of himself but prefers the good of others and the general good receives divine power. And you see, when someone acts with a sacrificial spirit, God protects them. I remember once we set up a defensive post behind a huge boulder. I had dug a foxhole and was hiding in it. A fellow soldier came and asked me, "May I come in too?" Another soldier came and asked the same thing. I allowed them to come into my foxhole and I remained outside. At night when many bullets were being fired, one literally grazed my scalp. I was wearing only a hood, not the helmet. I shouted, "Guys, I've been hit." I touched my head with my hand and looked, but there was no blood. I touched it again, nothing. The bullet had grazed my head and had only cut my hair toward the back, leaving a strip 6 centimeters wide without any hair. You have not gone through difficult years or occupations. You have not seen wars or enemies, and so on, and I hope you never do. Nor do you understand such things. But these years are like a pressure cooker that is boiling and whistling. It takes endurance, bravery, and manliness. If something should happen, be sure not to leave yourselves completely unprepared. Be prepared from now to be able to face any potential difficulty. What did Christ say? Didn't he say, "Be ye ready"? Living in such difficult times as we do today gives us one more reason to be all the more prepared. It is not only sudden death that we may encounter, there are other dangers as well. Therefore, dispel the spirit of ease and comfort for ourselves. Let the sense of Philorimo prevail. May you always have the spirit of sacrifice. Now I see something that is about to happen, but it is constantly postponed. There are many short postponements. Who is making these delays? Is God pushing? Let's give it 1 more month, 2 months. This is how the present situation is going. But because we do not know what is waiting for us, it is best to cultivate as much as possible the virtue of love. This is the most important of all, to have true love among yourselves, sisterly love, not false love. Always, when there is true concern for each other, compassion and love, one can act correctly. Kindness and love are empowering. As far as possible, be discreet in your conversations and do not overly open up to others. One will say it to another and another to yet another, and then what will come of that? It is entirely possible for one foolish remark to cause you a lot of harm, and then you'll be knocking your heads on the wall. You should have seen the secrecy observed in the army. Your first responsibility, if captured, was to destroy the secret signals code. You had to cut it into small pieces and swallow them. Once when I was in danger of being captured, I swallowed them. Otherwise, if the guerrillas had taken them and had learned the army was in a particular place, needing food or supplies, they could then send a message to our headquarters and the Air Force would be dispatched to drop food for them and bombs on our army. You see, the guerrillas could present themselves as the army. If you were captured and they knew you were the wireless operator, they would pull out your fingernails with pliers to make you tell them the secret signals code. and you were willing to endure that torture rather than to betray the secret code. Another soldier was burned under the armpits to deliver a particular secret letter. He did not give in and became paralyzed from the torture. He did not confess, and that is why he became a confessor. Some women transported secret communications hidden in saddles and were determined to die if necessary. Death in wartime is very redeeming when someone sacrifices himself in order to protect others. Those who sacrifice their life from pure love in order to protect their fellow human being are imitating Jesus himself. They are the greatest heroes because they are feared even by death itself, as out of love they defy death and gain immortality, taking the key of eternity right out from under the slab of the thumb and trip lightly toward eternal blessedness.